Mr. Kennedy, I don't think you started off on a good foot today. You started during the luncheon interval. There was some size and some hoots from the other side.
Certainly. I recognize that lunchtime is very important to many folk. However, we needed to get on with the business of what we needed to do in a reply to the throne speech. So I was prepared and not ready to wait.
Give us some indication as to what are some of the meatier stuff that is contained in your response to the throne speech, some of the issues that you raised.
Yeah, certainly. Bermuda is in a crisis, and we recognize that. Reform in our education ministry needs to happen now. Operation Ceasefire has to happen now. And our economy, I must highlight that we cannot no longer continue to allow our customers to go through the hassles that we see and the bombardment of bureaucracy, yes, to take place that is happening in the immigration department. We're hearing from our customers all the time that this is a major challenge for them. And until we get the fact that we are in the service industry, this is going to continue to be a challenge for us.
One of the interesting points you made is that you would have an opposition member in your cabinet should you form the next government.
Certainly. That is something that we are exploring. We believe that we need to be open and transparent. And I talked very much about collaborative efforts. And this is an effort to bring us together so that we have voices coming from all walks of life in Bermuda.
You also spoke about with the politics of acrimony and even expressed agreement with a number of ideas that were put forward in the throne speech, job training, review of the 60-40 policy and the like.
Yes, we agree with those wholeheartedly.
All right.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You heard it. You heard the team speaking. Our ideas.
No mention of the $1 million debt burden in the throne speech.
$1 billion debt, not at all. No, no mention at all. Did you want to say anything? No. Yeah.
Can you amplify on that?
Well, it behooves us. We cannot understand one of the biggest challenges that we have is our debt that is being passed on from generation to generation to pay this off, and there was nothing mentioned to how we're going to get this debt paid down. Nothing at all. People need a plan. They need to see that something is happening.
You frequently have used the word crisis. Is there any timeline for this crisis? Do we have a year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years before something terrible happens? What's your view on the timeline?
I've used the phrase quite frequently, the urgency of now. I don't think we have another day to waste. One life lost tomorrow is one life too many. And we have got to move with urgency. All these things are connected. If we don't have an education system that is working well, then we are just simply fueling the crime industry. If we don't have an economy that is creating jobs, we again are creating an industry where people will go to the underground and get involved in crime. We've got to stop it now. We have to turn this thing around now, or else we will find ourselves not very, very happy with where we are. And we're there now.
You say that the government continues to use the global economic situation as an excuse when we have so many other countries in the same situation as Bermuda. Realistic about that, or is that just politicking?
No. All you need to do is take a look at the $1.2 billion debt. We need an explanation as to why we're there. And we really haven't gotten an explanation as to why we have gotten there. This to us is just incredible. And all of us are trying to find what exactly is going on. Please explain to us. With $1.2 billion, do you know what we can do to turn this economy around? We would balance the budget.
Would you agree though that the global situation does have some impact on what is happening here?
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
Excuse me. That's a good question. And let me say this, that I will say this afternoon, I will show this afternoon that this recession that we have in Bermuda is the great Bermuda recession. You believe all that stuff that you news people make, but not all of it is true, right? We have our major industries in Bermuda have grown. It's in our reply, and I will prove it this afternoon. So we have a major industry. Reinsurance is growing, has grown, yet we have increased unemployment in Bermuda. How does that compute? The reasons are here, not over there.
It could be argued that reinsurance is not something that the average Bermudian, despite benefiting from it.
It all connects. Jobs in reinsurance, jobs in investment. These people that come to Bermuda, they spend money, and they create jobs for Bermudians. It all connects. It's a multiplier effect. So don't be myopic and just look at who's working at that company. It's those people create jobs for all of other people. I will also show that this afternoon.
The Fitch report, which was released yesterday, and which is all now in public domain,
Yes.
had suggested or had indicated or had pointed to the likelihood or possibility of an increase in the debt ceiling.
Yes, I expect that. And there's no other way, is there? We expect that to happen in February. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens before February. But the thing is that it's got to happen. Yes.
Do you connect your call for good governance with the fact that a minister resigned last night?
Well, I'll let somebody else speak to that. I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
When it comes to good government, one should lead by example. And the reality is, we have to be particularly careful that we have two different rules for this country. Rules for the people and rules for people in public places. Now, the current minister, obviously he resigned. Did he resign or was he asked to resign is the real issue. Now, we believe on our side that a few other people should also resign and do the right thing. Because he should not be left carrying the bag by himself. I mean, just to be placed in that position is not good for the country. Let me give you an example of what happened to me today on the way to work. I was coming to work and stopped in the gas station, and an attendant said, "Mr. Simons, come inside. Come inside." So I went inside, and he handed me an envelope and said, "This is for planning. Can I get my permit through?" That's the tone that we have in this country in regards to the planning department, and it's not good enough. I said to him, that will not happen under our watch. And this is why it's very, very important that we really address governance and how people perceive us to be in this country. We have to remove any indication of corruption and bad management. We have to set a gold standard as to best practices for running a country and be honest and be a transparent government that lives by principles.
Thank you.
The leader said it, I think, quite clearly in the opposition reply. It begins for the One Bermuda Alliance with education. And one of the things we're seeing right now is the government is scrambling around to try and provide Bermudians with additional skills training. There is a serious mismatch between skills and jobs at the present time. This is not new. They were told this about 5 years ago by the Arnold Group that were here. We saw it coming long before that. One of the reasons we have this problem is because education reform has not been followed through with the degree of political will and follow-through that is actually required here. We've had lots of false starts, we've had lots of promises, but it just hasn't happened. The Hopkins report now is over 4.5 years. We've had the Mincy report, we've had Bermuda First, all have talked about the importance of education. We are not going to have the kind of change we need in education, true education reform, with the current government. They have tried, they've had the best of intentions, it simply hasn't happened. We need a change of government to get away from the crisis that Mr. Burchell was talking about a few minutes ago. It's essential. We have a plan, we have the confidence that we can do it. Other countries have improved their public education system. There is no reason why Bermuda can't as well.
What do you think is the delay in taking what, for all intents and purposes, have to be the bold moves to address the public education system?
Well, I think we wondered the same thing. I think it's change in personnel. You've had a slew of different ministers. You've had change at the civil service level. But I don't think you've had a consistent approach and a plan that they've been able to stick through. You need consistent leadership and you need a plan that you follow through on, and it simply hasn't happened. We've had lots of excuses. We've had lots of bits and pieces done, but an initiative here, an initiative there, that has not not the kind of comprehensive education reform that the country needs right now and that our young people need. The future of Bermuda really depends on this. We're seeing it now in the job situation. Over 2,000 jobs have been lost between 2000 and 2010. A lot of that is mismatch between skills and jobs. And now we're scrambling around at the 11th hour. I mean, these are good programs, the waiter program, the sister program. They should have happened years ago. We saw it coming. The government simply didn't prepare for it.
Finally, Mr. Candidate,
Yes.
you've made a very strong plea for racial harmony.
Yes.
And have your party lead the way. We're going far better than many people may have expected as we stand. Where can we go? What's the horizon?
I think we need more harmony. Certainly as you walk on the streets of Bermuda and on lunch times when I take a 2-hour walk around, you can feel the tension and the misunderstanding that this person is holding me back for whatever reasons. We've seen in our politics that it has been basically a politics of division, and that division has been based on skin color, and we need to move away from that. We said in our speech that the politics of Bermuda today must be where we start to bring that harmony back together. We can no longer continue leading this country when we are divided by race and class. It has to stop.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go.